Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. This is the channel that's all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if that is something that you're interested in learning about, go ahead and stick around. So in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about different print-on-demand platforms. I'm going to go over what I call the big four, and these are the four that I started selling on first, and kind of give you some pros and cons of each one, just to give you an idea of kind of where you want to spend the most time and how you want to prioritize. So the big four, as I call them, number one is going to be Amazon Merch on Demand or Merch by Amazon. The second one would be Amazon via Seller Central. Then you have Etsy, and then lastly RedBubble. So these are the ones that I'm going to be talking about. So we're going to start with Amazon Merch on Demand, which was formerly known as Merch by Amazon or MBA. This one is the number one priority, gold star. That's why I put it in gold. The pros of this one is that Amazon has the biggest reach of any platform. Amazon is obviously a huge global company, and if you sell on Amazon Merch on Demand, you can sell across many marketplaces all at once. It is totally free to use, so there is absolutely no risk of you losing any of your money. They handle all of the shipping, they handle all of the returns, so you don't have to do anything but upload your design, set a price, and then if it sells, then you make royalty money. So it really is the absolute easiest one to use. It is going to be the one that usually generates the most money. It's very simple to upload your designs, and they've even upgraded it recently to make it even easier to upload your designs onto different products. So this one has the most pros by far. So if you're selling, this is the one you want to try to get into and spend the most time on. Now, there are some cons with this. So as I scroll down just a little bit, some of the cons that you need to be aware of is that you have to be accepted into the Merch by Amazon program. So you can't just sign up and start downloading. You actually have to apply and you have to be accepted. And there's no secret formula to getting accepted. I know people are always asking, what do I put? What do I write? I do think that there's a little bit of luck involved. There's a little bit of just timing if they're looking for more people at that time, possibly location, where you're selling from. I know there's people that have applied multiple times and been rejected, and I would just say just keep trying. And then other people who've applied and gotten in on the first try. Definitely it's worth continuing to apply, but assuming you get accepted, again, it's the number one platform that I would recommend. Now, another con of this one is your uploads are going to be limited by tiers. So there is a tier system, and when you first get accepted, you are starting off in tier 10, which is where unfortunately a lot of people start and die. Tier 10 means you can only upload 10 designs. Now, it used to be 10 products, period, and now they've limited it to 10 designs, so you can put those 10 designs on multiple products and across multiple platforms, but you're still limited to just 10 of the billions of designs out there. So you are a needle in a haystack, so it's very hard to kind of get started and get your first few sales when you're on tier 10. You're also limited in how many you can put up a day. So regardless of what tier you're on, you're going to have some sort of limitation of how many uploads you can put on in one day. So if you're in tier 10, it's probably one upload a day. So to fill all 10 slots, you would have to, upload a new design every day for 10 days. As the tiers get higher up, you're allowed more uploads. So starting low, if you were just starting off, it is tier 10, and then I believe it goes to tier 25, and then I don't know if there's a 50 or if it just jumps to 100. I think it might just jump to 100, and then 250, 500, 1,000, 2,000, and so on and so forth. And there are people that are way up there on tier 200,000. So you can imagine that there's a lot of people that are putting up thousands of designs every single day. So it is hard, again, when you're first starting out to start building. So that is another one of those cons that you can, look forward to, is it is a little bit of a slow build. Typically, you have to have as many sales as the tier that you're in. So when you start off on tier 10, they say you have to have at least 10 sales before you will tier up to tier 25. Now, that is not a sure bet. There are plenty of people who have had 50 sales and still have not tiered up yet, because Amazon will tier up whenever they feel like it. It is random. Nobody knows when it's coming, when they have a tier up day. And if you happen to qualify on that day, great. If not, you might get skipped over. I don't work for Amazon. If anybody does work for Amazon, let me know. But as far as anybody can tell, it just kind of happens when it happens, and there's no way to kind of predict or guarantee it. But the basic rule is that you have to have all of your slots filled. So if you're in tier 10, you have to have all 10 slots filled, and you have to have at least that many sales, so at least 10 sales. Same would apply if you were in tier 2000. You would have to have all 2000 slots filled with 2000 different designs, and then you would have to have at least 2000 sales before you would then tier up to the next level. And so that's another kind of big con. And then lastly, you're kind of limited in the products. They do offer a variety of products, but not as many as if you were selling through Printful or with other integrations. So they do t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, the big ones. They also have tote bags, pillows, phone cases, and pop sockets. So it's a good selection, but for example, they don't offer stickers, they don't have any embroidery, so you can't do hats, they don't do jackets, nothing like that. So there's definitely room for some of these other platforms where you can sell, a variety of other products. And so that is all I wanted to say right now for Merch by Amazon. So we're going to move down to the next platform. And so the next platform is selling on Amazon, but via Seller Central. So Seller Central is different. Seller Central is how you would sell anything on Amazon. So if you were, selling non-print on demand things, if you were selling sunscreen, or if you were selling dog leashes, whatever you would sell usually goes through Seller Central. And so you would do the fulfilled by merchant. So the pros of this are, again, it's Amazon, so you have a very large reach, and that's great. And because you can use integrations like Printful or Printify, a third-party print company, to push the products, there's almost no limit to what kinds of products you can put up there. So if you go through something like Printful, you can do the standard clothing that you can do on Merch by Amazon, but Printful will also let you sell things like hats, like stickers, like posters. They have all sorts of things, blankets, mugs, travel mugs. They have candles. They just have so many more products. And so you can really design for all sorts of different products and have so many different things up there, a lot more than you could if you were just doing Merch by Amazon. Another awesome thing about it is that you don't have to be accepted. So you can sign up for this today. You don't have to be accepted for it. So it is something that anybody can do, and you don't have any tiers. There are no limits. You can put hundreds of thousands of products up on Amazon today via Seller Central. Now, there are some drawbacks that I'm going to go over. So as I scroll down here, you will see the cons. So the con list is one, it is not free to sell via Seller Central. There is a monthly fee. I believe it's about $40 a month just to sell on their platform. On top of that, Amazon is going to take a fee per sale. So every sale that you make, they're going to take a percentage, and the percentages will vary depending on different products. So there will be a little bit of math involved for you to figure out pricing, what you need to price it at, how much you're going to lose in Amazon fees, how much you have to cover the initial $40 per month. And then it's also a little bit more risky because now you have to deal with returns. So if somebody buys something from you and they decide that they want to return it, now you are out that money because you have already paid to have that product made. So that's another thing. You're also covering the shipping. So you can put shipping in your price, or you can make them pay for shipping, but you will not have prime shipping, which is another drawback. So it is a little bit more risky. There is a lot more work involved. You do have to do a lot more math to kind of figure out, you have to be a little bit better at business to know, what to price things at and how to make sure that you're not going to lose money, because, we're doing print on demand. You don't want to lose money on print on demand, right? So it is a little bit harder to learn, and it's kind of slow to set up. So if you were to use Printful, which is what I use, you can go on Printful, and they do have an integration with Amazon Seller Central, and so it will automatically push the products there. But there is a little bit of a slow process that you have to go through to get it all hooked up. And then on top of that, when you go to push products, they kind of limit how many you can do at a time. So it's very slow. So you push one product and you might be sitting there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you can then push another product. So you can sit there all day, 24 hours a day, pushing products, but you're still only pushing maybe 1 or 2 products every 20 minutes. So it's not going to be very fast. It's not going to be like Amazon Merch on Demand, where I can click all the buttons and upload to like 63 products at once. So it is a little bit slower. So that would be selling on Amazon via Seller Central. So now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the next platform here. And our next big platform is going to be Etsy. Now, Etsy is another big platform. It also has worldwide reach, and you can make a lot of money on Etsy. Etsy is going to be a little bit more like Amazon Seller Central in that you are going to use a third-party print company. So you can use Printful, Printify, or any other third-party company that you like to make products and then to push them to your Etsy shop. And again, you can sell any types of products because you're using third-party print companies. You can sell coasters, you can sell, Hawaiian shirts, you can sell visors, you can sell backpacks, you can sell anything that you can find that you can, use for print on demand. So you're pretty unlimited in what it is that you want to design for and what you want to sell and how many products you want to put up. You can put up as many as you like, and you can put them up as fast as you're able to. And there is no monthly fee, and you do not have to be accepted. So this is something that you could absolutely start today if you wanted to start selling on Etsy. You could just go to Printful and then use the Printful integration with Etsy to start your Etsy shop today. Now, there are definitely some cons to Etsy as well that I'm going to go over. So as I scroll down here, you will see the con list. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is a 20-cent listing fee every 4 months. So they don't charge you a monthly fee, but they do charge you a listing fee. So that means that every listing that you put up, they're charging you 20 cents for. So if you want to have 100 listings, well, then you can do the math. If you want to have 500 listings, however many listings you want, you're paying 20 cents per listing, and that fee is only good for 4 months, after which you lose the listing or you have to renew the listing for another 20 cents. That being said, when you make a sale, they'll also renew your listing and charge you the 20-cent fee every time you sell that product. So Etsy does have a lot of, I don't want to say hidden fees, but there are a lot of different fees. So there is the fee per sale, which is the listing fee, the processing fee, the transaction fee. If they pay shipping, there's a transaction fee for shipping. So all of these things add up. And the only way that you know kind of how much you're going to end up with is you go to your finances in your payment account, and you can look and there'll be a list of, this is what the customer paid, this is how much came out in taxes, this is how much came out in this fee, this is how much came out in that fee, this fee, that fee, and you have to do the math and figure out what you end up with. So that's annoying. That's a little bit annoying as well. They also have advertising fees. And so this one really bugged me, because if the sale comes from an outside ad, then they will charge you an advertisement fee. Well, here's the problem. You never know whether or not your sale is going to come from an outside ad. And the advertisement fee is actually relatively substantial. So if I sell a shirt and I'm expecting them to take, let's say, $3 in total fees, but this sale came from an outside source, so they add another $5 to that. Now they're taking $8. That could be my entire profit right there. So again, pricing can become difficult. You want to price it in a way that it's competitive and that you can make sales, but you also want to price it in a way that if it came from an outside source and with all of the extra fees, are you still going to make money or at least break even, or are you going to be losing money? You also have to consider shipping too. If you offer free shipping, shipping rates vary worldwide. So if you offer free shipping on something and you built in the shipping price for, the United States, but now it's shipping to Canada, Canada's a lot more expensive, you can lose money there if you don't, calculate that. So again, it's a little bit tougher in terms of knowing businesses and knowing pricing and being able to keep track of all of those. You're going to have a little spreadsheet and everything. So it's definitely a lot harder. It's a lot more difficult than the merch by Amazon, for example. And again, just like selling on Seller Central, it's risky. You have to cover returns if your shop allows for returns, which means you will, again, lose the money, not only your profit, but what you spent to produce that product. Now you can, on Etsy, you can go ahead and say that your shop doesn't offer returns. That may or may not impact whether or not somebody wants to buy from you. On Seller Central, returns are automatically authorized. So anybody can return anything for any reason, and Amazon will just go ahead and make the return. And then Etsy is a little bit harder to learn. So for Amazon, for both Amazons, you're putting up products and you don't necessarily have a shop. With Etsy, you're selling from your shop. So your shop has to have a feel to it. It has to have a banner. It has to have a logo. You want your shop to be inviting. For Etsy, you're able to upload your own mock-ups, and so you need everything in your shop to look good. You need your shop to be organized. So there's a lot more work. It's a much steeper learning curve. It's going to take you a lot longer to kind of get started on Etsy. And of course, Etsy will it will show sellers that have a lot of sales, and it'll put the numbers next to them. Well, if you're just getting started and you don't have any numbers next to your product, it might be harder to get that initial sale. So there's definitely a longer startup period for Etsy. It's definitely harder to learn, but once you get it going, it can produce a lot of money. And there's plenty of people that, make a full-time income just selling on Etsy. And then the last platform that I wanted to go over, now there's a lot more platforms, but these are just the big four that I wanted to talk about. The last one is going to be RedBubble. RedBubble is the easiest to start on. So if you are just starting print on demand, this is probably where you're going to want to start, because it is the absolute easiest to start with and easiest to work with. You don't have to be accepted. There's no monthly fee. It's free to use. There's no risk. They cover the shipping. They cover the returns. Pretty much you put up your product, you pick a price, and then if it sells, you get the royalties. So much like Merch by Amazon, RedBubble kind of operates the same way, which is why it is very easy and user-friendly to get started on. There are a lot more products. They have a lot more products than Amazon Merch on Demand. They have everything from shower curtains and bath mats to comforters, and then just your regular t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts. They have a ton of products that you can put your designs on. So that's really convenient. And you're not really limited. So you can, put as many products on your shop as you want. There's no tier system that says you're only allowed to have 10 designs. You can put up a ton. And so, like I said, RedBubble is really easy to get started on. But as I come down to the cons, you will see number one is there is a lot of competition. Because it's the easiest to get started on, and because there's no limits or anything like that, there's a bazillion people putting up a bazillion designs, and so there is just tons and tons and tons of competition, and print on demand already has a lot of competition. So, being seen on RedBubble can be very challenging. It doesn't have as big of a reach as Amazon or Etsy, so you probably won't see nearly the amount of sales that you would see on the other platforms. So I put it last on my list because it's easy to get started on. It's a good one to start on, But once you kind of get up and going and know what you're doing, you don't want to spend too much time on it because it's just not going to generate the same revenue as some of the other ones. So, you know, you definitely want to try it, especially if you're just getting started, but don't just stick with it. Make sure that you are able to then branch out. Which brings me to my last point that I wanted to make on this video. And right down here, it is just to sell on all of them. So sell on as many platforms as you can. Don't just pick one. So I sell on all 4 of those right now. When I first started off, I also was selling on Teespring. I know some people also sell on eBay. There's Zazzle. There's a lot of other platforms that you can sell on. You can also do other things like Amazon KDP. I also do that as well. So the more streams of revenue that you have, the better, right? You want to get as many products out there over as many platforms as you can to increase your chances of making sales and making money. So definitely, you know, sell on all of them, check out all of them. But I know there's only so much time in the day. And so when it comes to prioritizing, you know, how much time you put into each of these, that is why I made this list. Starting at the top, you're going to want to prioritize, you know, most of your time on Amazon Merch on Demand if you're able to, and put the least amount of time into RedBubble. And so that's just how you would go about kind of prioritizing. Now, I know I went over a lot on this video. If you have any questions or would like any specific videos made on any of these platforms, go ahead and let me know. You can drop it in the comments section below and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was useful, and I wish you guys good luck. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time. That's it for today's video. If you found this useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.